How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Orange Thumbstick podcast. I'm Dave, and I'm joined by Bobby and Russ. How you doing, guys?
Not bad.
Not bad, mate. How you getting on yourself?
Goody. I'm all right.
Good.
What have you been playing then? Come on.
Well, I've been playing Agents of Mayhem quite a bit since we got it a little bit late. There was an issue with it getting sent out to press, but anyway, yeah, I smashed that to bits over the past 4 or 5 days. Enjoyable. I know it's had quite a few mixed reviews, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Your review's up now, isn't it, for that?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Good. Bobby, what about you?
I've been playing Agents of Mayhem as well. Also played quite a bit of Slime Rancher since its full release. Check that out, and I'm going to check out Conan Exiles after we've recorded this, so that's what I've been playing this week. Oh, and Rocket League.
Yeah.
Obviously Rocket League.
As always. Just touching on Conan Exiles a little bit, something was announced this week about different versions. Have you seen this? In I think it's in the US compared to Europe.
No.
Apparently they're gonna have pants on in America, but the European version, they're not gonna have pants, so you can walk around completely butt naked. The reason why they've had to do that is because of the ratings difference. Peggy is like the Peggy ratings in Europe. There's more leeway with their 18 plus rating, where they can basically have slightly more in the game compared to the M rating in the States, and they didn't want to put it as an M plus because they feel it would limit the market of people that could buy it. So to make it an M in the States, they've actually had to put underwear in that game. So there you go.
Yeah.
See, we only got it because Russ wanted to see the naked people.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna, because we know that's a complete lie.
Moving on.
Yeah, move on.
Right, so a few things to get through. Spotify released their app on the Xbox One this week. Have you guys tried it at all? Do you know what it's like?
I've not tried it.
I always use YouTube for my music, so things like and I used to use Apple Music now and again before I got an Android, so things like Spotify has never really appealed to us. I did see the announcement that it was on the store, but I don't really have a use for it. If I wanted to listen to music, I'll just get a YouTube playlist up, or well, yeah, that's basically what I do. So, fortunately, I haven't checked it out.
Yeah, the appealing thing about this particular app, I believe, is you can have your music on while you're playing games and whatever else. But you know, that's the main selling point for it. And Spotify, it's free essentially. You can have a premium subscription where you can have all your albums and whatever, but it's essentially free, a free streaming music app. So they just want to concentrate on having it in the background, I guess. So for anybody that's using Spotify and likes to listen to music while they're playing games, that's on the Xbox dashboard in the store. It's a free download. Respawn have recently announced that they're going to be completely committed to Titanfall and the Titanfall universe. They've been quite quiet recently, but they've sort of come out and said that there's more content incoming, and yeah, I think it's probably got something to do with the underwhelming sales, I guess. I mean, we spoke about this sort of, I think it was in our first podcast last year when we were discussing the Titanfall 2 release date, which it was right in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. So I don't think it really did the game any justice. Have you guys jumped into Titanfall 2 at all? Have you played it? Or
No.
No, I was going to, but I played Titanfall 1 and I absolutely loved it, but then after a while it started just feeling like a grind, and because of that I said I was going to check out Titanfall 2 and I just didn't get around to it. It is a game that's on the list, the big long list of games that I still need to check out, but unfortunately I haven't. I have noticed obviously that it flopped in sales and it got some mixed reviews, and I mean, I kind of feel sorry for them in a way because the first game was enjoyable. The second one, they tried to listen to people and everybody. from what I seen, I felt like everyone just kind of rammed it down the throats. No matter what they'd done, they couldn't have done it right. But it's nice to see that they're going to stand by it. So, yeah.
I think critically, Titanfall 2, it actually did review pretty well across the board, from what I know, from what I believe. I mean, I reviewed it for the site. I absolutely loved it, but they're getting a lot of criticism because of their release window, and that's what ultimately ruined Titanfall 2 and its sales, was its release window. When they did that, it just didn't make any sense at all, to be honest. But they've committed to more content. The additional maps and everything were free. There was no season pass as such for the extra maps. They were all included. So good luck to them. It's a great game, and I hope they have some more success with it going forward. Xbox Insider Program. You guys probably know more about this than I do, because I don't really notice it. But they've announced that it's going to be open to everybody now.
That's true, yeah.
Right.
Have you heard anything about that?
I have a little bit. I mean, they should have done that from the beginning, to be honest with you. You know, it's opt in, opt out, whether you want it or not. And the more people testing it, the more people are going to point out issues and bugs, and the quicker things will get rectified and changes made where needed, I think.
Do you? I mean, I don't. But do you guys leave feedback on, the test updates that they do? Do you ever go on the forums and leave updates? Or
I have done once.
Any feedback?
And that was when it doesn't happen now, but it was probably a few months into me being in the Insider program for the new dashboards. There was silly text in place of proper text on like menus, on the guide menus and stuff like that. So I left some feedback about that. But since then, I've had no issues at all with the new dashboards. Obviously, some of the layout changes are a bit weird, and they do take some getting used to. But other than that, main bugs and issues, other than that text issue, nothing for me. So,
okay.
I jump on the app and rate it and things like you can. Take part in that quite a bit, but probably not as often as I should.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Well, this Insider program, it is going to be based on tiers, and what they're going to do is the amount of feedback that you leave and the frequency, the frequent amount of times that you're on there will sort of build you up. The amount of times you rate it, the times that you help maybe other people with issues with it will eventually increase your level. You'll go up a tier, and that'll determine what level of the update that you'll get. So, for example, when they introduced backwards compatibility, I believe that was last year, wasn't it, when it first came in? Last summer it was available for preview members, and then it kind of launched last sort of Christmas, didn't it?
Yeah.
Roughly, officially.
Yeah, around about that.
Yeah, well, a lot of preview members got that straight away, whereas if something like that happens again, it'll depend on your tier, whether you get that.
That's fair enough. I mean, there was already a tier system in place anyway, but it was either an alpha or tier 1, 2 or 3, something like that. So it's a
something
similar
like
thing.
That, yeah.
So they're just going to open it to everybody and then base it on how early you get stuff, depending on how active you are in being involved in reporting stuff. That's fair enough, yeah. I don't see a problem with that at all.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Have you seen any of the footage of the new dashboard that's going to be releasing later this year?
I've seen a little bit of it. I mean, I'm all for changes. If stuff's going to look better. I mean, there's always that once you get used to something and something gets changed, as I said a minute ago, getting used to store page being put somewhere different can be a bit of a pain in the backside. But as long as it runs as well as it should do, then I've got no problems at all.
See, I'm the complete opposite of that. I'd quite happily have the original Xbox 360 dashboard still, because I'm not a massive fan of change.
What, the blades? You'd want the blades back?
It's just, I get used to something and then change it. For instance, the dashboard that I'm running at the minute, I'm assuming it's what everybody's got. And I didn't like how they changed it. Well, I kind of like it now that I've got used to it, but at first, when they've changed it, we've got home, games and apps and store under the guide. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. The rest of it pretty much looks the same, but they just changed buttons around, and I kept getting lost when I was coming online, and it was doing me head in. Obviously, I've got used to it, and by the time I'm really comfortable with it, they'll probably change it again, but that's just me. I'm awkward.
The new one looks tidy, in all fairness. It looks, I I've only seen sort of slight video clips and that. I think Major Nelson did something a couple of weeks ago on it, and
I think
it looks a lot cleaner.
The main thing I'm looking forward to, I'm assuming that it's being released at the same time as the new Dash, and that's the new avatars. They are looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, they look good. Very Pixar, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Changing over a little bit, but kind of sticking with a similar formula. Xbox and Microsoft have announced fundamental changes to the achievement system. They've kind of teased it a little bit. They haven't given much sort of clarity on what it's going to involve. But Mike Ibarra has basically come out and sort of said somebody who only plays multiplayer in Halo 5 at a professional level might not get the recognition of somebody who plays a load of other games and has a much higher gamer score. So basically he's come out and quoted and said, this person doesn't play a lot of games, but they're world top 10 at Halo 5. We're going to go big in this area of letting people show off and represent their gaming history and the type of gamer that they are, far more than we do with gamer score. So I would imagine by that they're going to have like milestones.
Yeah, like a badge system. I got a badge system pop
Yeah.
into my head then. So yeah, I don't know, like a little Halo school helmet thing, saying that you've played Halo 5 online the most out of everybody that's played it, sort of thing. Just as an example.
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
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 Which is good, because you do get. I mean, I've been an achievement hunter in the past. I've never really been one to go out and buy these really easy, simple games to get 1,000 gamer score really quick. But obviously there are some people that are like that, and a lot of those have taken a bit of offence to this announcement. I've seen comments on certain achievement-based websites saying, so all that time I spent racking up all that gamer score will now mean nothing. As to be fair, it really didn't mean anything anyway. I mean, unless you was number one in the world, you got into the Guinness World Record for it, but other than that, it is just a meaningless number, isn't it? So
yeah, what they're doing is they're adding some I don't know, that they're validating the achievement system, I suppose, because the amount of people that, like you said, went out and just bought a game just for the 1,000 gamer score, take them like 2 hours to complete. They weren't playing that game because they enjoyed it. They were playing that game just to boost their gamer score. So what they're obviously doing with this is they're rewarding people that might not have many achievements, but they are committed and they play a certain franchise online or whatever. They just play maybe 1 or 2 games constantly. They want to sort of recognise those players as well as the ones that just go and play games for the sake of the score. So I'm not one for achievements, and never have been. You two know that, but I think what they're doing here, it's kind of expanding on the achievement system, isn't it? A little bit, sort of making things a little bit more fresh. And if achievement hunters want to get a little bit aggrieved by that, then let them, as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's good, to be honest. I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's like they say someone could be top 10 in the world on Halo, but they could literally just have 1750 gamer score. I'm saying 1750 because I was thinking Halo 3 for some reason there, but you know what I mean. They could have just wiped out that game or the Halo games, and that's it. And to someone who's an achievement hunter or classes themselves as a really good gamer, the first thing they're going to look at when they're looking to play with someone is what the gamer score is. So let's just say a clan was recruiting on Halo and they've seen the gamer score and they're like, nah. Without looking at the games, nah, I'm not touching them, because that's the mentality of it. Without thinking, oh no, this guy's top 10 in the world. So I think it could be a good thing, and I want to go for Gold or Slime Rancher, so
Well, this is what they've said. I mean, basically what they've said is that these players that are playing one game, they're not well represented by the 1,000 gamer score system at the moment. So, as Mike Ybarra has sort of said here, somebody who only plays multiplayer in Halo 5 at a professional level may only have 2,000 gamer score, but they're not getting any kind of recognition because they only play one game. So I think it's great. It's adding something new to the achievement system that I would imagine is probably going a little bit stale from their point of view, and they want to mix it up a little bit. So fair play to them, definitely. And the next one, which frustrates the hell out of me, Shadow of War, as
Here
you know,
go.
is one of my anticipated games this year. He's getting microtransactions. Explain that one to me, boys.
Well,
What's all that
explain why
about?
you're mad first. Explain why you're mad
Well,
first.
Let me tell you why I'm mad, right? This game, it looks absolutely amazing, right? Now, it is a single-player only game, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What they're essentially doing is, let me tell you what they're going to do, okay? They're going to allow people to buy with physical money, right? Actual money.
Real monies.
Loot chests, XP boosts, special items, Nemesis system items, basically things that you're going to buy to make you better, and ultimately finish the game easier and quicker. I don't get that. Why they having
It's about
to
the
do
same
that?
as. Thing is, it's about the same as all other microtransactions. Just it's on single player instead of multiplayer, because microtransactions are predominantly in multiplayer games, so that you can upgrade your character or whatever. So they're basically just doing that for single player. So the way that I would look at that is, if you want to play a single player game and chuck a load of money into it, my personal opinion is that's fair enough. If it's a single player or microtransactions. Multiplayer ones, I'm kind of on the fence with, because there are a few games where I've paid, like Rocket League, for instance. Every month I buy myself a few keys to unlock the crates, and to be honest, that's the only one. But
different levels of microtransactions, aren't there? So, like we discussed the other night, Dave, when we was talking about this for the podcast. If it's cosmetic stuff, then by all means put it in there. If the developer thinks that they can get a bit of extra cash because somebody wants to buy a new outfit for this character, that character, whatever, then fair enough. It don't affect me, doesn't affect the way I play the game. Leave them to it. Co-op style games, so again we spoke about Fortnite when we was discussing this. You don't have to buy the microtransactions in that game. I know at the minute, with the game being in early access, you have to pay for it, but you do get a bundle of microtransaction llamas, they're called in that, not loot crates. But after that, if you want to buy in early and get the early access to that, you don't have to purchase anything at all. The game's fair enough with giving you stuff. Plus, it's a cooperative game, so if somebody's got a decent gun, they can build it and leave it on the floor for you to pick up, so you can share stuff in that game. So again, you don't have to buy the microtransactions, and if you want to wait till the game comes out free to play and not pay a single penny for it, then fair enough. But it's like Bobby said, some of the multiplayer stuff, especially the versus where it does become pay to win, then I don't agree with it at all.
I'm going to be a bit of a hypocrite here, though. Sorry, Dave. I'm going to be a bit of a hypocrite here, though, and it's just popped into my head. If Shadow of War comes out and paying for the microtransactions makes it easier to win, the actual gameplay that you're playing is going to be changed. So, from a reviewer's perspective, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Because what if it's a full-on grind without paying for it, but it's a nice, easy-flowing game with it? That's going to be that's like a complete opposite ends of the scale for a review.
Worries me. Yeah, and that's what worries me with this game, because what I don't want to happen is that they're almost kind of forcing you to buy these loot chests and whatever, because if they're going to make this game a slog to get to a certain level, they're going to entice people to buy that XP boost, and what I don't want it to do is ruin that experience. And it's kind of hinting at that. I know it sounds cynical what I'm saying, but I think that's why the game was delayed, and I don't think this has come from Monolith either. I think this has come direct from Warner Brothers, who have got form for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the Lego games as an example straight away. But with this, I think they had an idea put to them, and they've just gone ahead with it, which is why the game was delayed to put these things in. I might be completely off course, and I might be completely wrong. It just seems very odd for a game that has been revealed and has been so very well publicised to all of a sudden, just before E3, get delayed. We all thought it was for the X release to launch with that because they're partnered with it. Yep. But I think it was to introduce this system, and if they are forcing you to get these XP boosts and whatever else because the game is going to be a slog, then I'm sorry, that it's completely wrong.
This is the thing, though. It's either going to make it perfect and it's going to work perfectly, and everyone's going to love it, even with the microtransactions. And then every other single-player game that's coming out is going to jump on the microtransactions bandwagon, or it's going to completely flop because of the microtransactions, get absolutely rinsed in reviews, and they've ruined what could have been a perfectly good game. But if they want to test it as big as they are, by all means, but it's a big risk.
I think what it is, Warner Brothers, I mean, there was none of this in the original. I love the original game, Shadow of Mordor. It's absolutely brilliant. There was nothing like this in that game. It's almost as if Warner Brothers have gone, yeah, we've got a big title here. This is going to sell really, really well. How much more money can we get out of it? That's what I'm seeing from this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a game here that could potentially be over 100 hours worth of gameplay with all the levelling up, the RPG elements and everything. Basically, what they're saying here is throw a bucket load of money at us and make the game shorter. You're almost buying cheats. XP boosts, special weapons that, you know, make you invincible and whatever else. They're basically saying, pay us for your cheats.
Yeah.
Pay us for your infinite health. Here's a 100-hour game, but if you want to complete it in 30 hours, bung a load of money at us.
Yeah,
that's what this is saying. I don't agree with it.
No.
I don't agree with it.
Mate.
It's the modern day up, down, left, right, left bumper, right bumper, X, B, Y. That's
reach into your wallet and pull out your cash card.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Press down, get your wallet out, press up, open it up, press right to swipe your card. There you go.
And don't forget to enter the last three digits.
It's the only dig I'm going to have the full podcast, but how would you feel about Red Dead Redemption having microtransactions, Dave?
I wouldn't agree with it.
Aye?
I wouldn't agree with it. No.
What about GTA 5?
It's the same as GTA 5.
If it was there on the side.
The shark card things in GTA, well, I don't touch them. All they're there for is to make it quicker for you to buy some of the vehicles that are available for
stuff and vehicles,
properties, but you can get to them in the end. It is a little bit pay to win. A little bit, but...
It is a little bit, yeah, it is, yeah. But what GTA 5 does really well is it doesn't make it impossible for you to achieve. It's going to take a lot longer, and they don't shove them down your throat either. Whereas this game, and another game that did it a couple of years ago was Assassin's Creed Unity, about 3 years ago. They had chests in that game that you could only buy by buying these special Assassin's Creed credits with real money. They got absolutely slated for it, and it got taken out of Assassin's Creed Syndicate completely. The backlash that Monolith are getting for putting this into this game, honestly, you just have to go onto the forums to read what people are saying. Nobody's happy about this. There is not one part of the community that are into this game that are going, yeah, brilliant, you know, have more money off us. Everyone's sort of going, nah, that's not right.
Yeah,
it's a single-player game. I don't agree with microtransactions full stop, but I can understand them being in a multiplayer game more than I can a single-player game. Do you know what I mean? But just don't agree with it, and it's if I'm lucky enough to review this game, or if not, because I'm going to buy it anyway. So when I buy this game and I feel that microtransaction system is hindering my experience with that game, then I will make it known, whether it be on the podcast or whatever.
Won't expect to.
Just don't agree with it. Yeah. But apart from that, the game looks tremendous. It really does. It looks absolutely brilliant. And you know, I've said it before on previous shows that it's my game of the year at the moment. And you know, unless it comes out and it's actually terrible, which I doubt it will be. But it just annoys me a little bit. But microtransactions in general, I mean, have you guys ever bought any franchise that you absolutely love or anything like that? Have you ever purchased anything extra?
I have.
Bought some on Plants vs Zombies 2. I think you did as well,
season passes and DLC. Yeah, I'm not
just
microtransactions or anything like that. Just little microtransactions, yeah.
Depending on the game, I'll always try and give microtransactions a one-off chance. Rocket League is my repeat prescription each month. When we're talking about GTA 5, I bought the game and I got a free bundle with it for the shark cards or whatever they're called. And later on, I did go and buy one, but I always I bought either the cheapest or the one in the middle. I think they were on sale at the time. Plants vs Zombies 2, I think I spent about £3 on it, something daft like that. Whilst I was playing it, I was really enjoying the game at the time, and I thought I'll check it out. Personally, at the minute, after playing Fortnite, I think they do it absolutely perfectly. I haven't sunk any money into it, to get microtransactions, but I'm opening enough of the llamas or the loot crates, whatever you want to call them.
I did with Fortnite. I mean, I've sort of shown off in my video that I did for it that you don't have to put any money into Fortnite at all. I just played it solid for a day, earned enough of the V-Bucks from missions to buy, must have been 10 or so, plus some of the Founders coins to unlock some of the Founders llamas. I did sink, I think it was about 15 quid into it, but that was me buying some credit from my rewards from a certain video game retailer in the UK. So it didn't really cost me anything, but I used my rewards from that video game retailer to buy some credit to buy some V-Bucks for Fortnite, just to try it out, because it, like I said, it didn't cost me anything. But that's all I've really done.
Yeah.
But again, I thought that
what about yourself, Dave?
I have done in the past. Not recently at all, but it was. You guys know I'm a massive fan of FIFA. So when Ultimate Team first came out, I'd buy £5 worth of Xbox credit and get a couple of packs for players and whatever. But even with that, after a while, I thought, hang on a minute, this isn't right. And I eventually stopped doing it. I used to buy the Ultimate Editions of FIFA, so the Ultimate Editions, you'll get so many packs, which is basically one a week for 20 weeks. As a special bonus thing, but that was included in the prog that I bought, so you can't really include that. In terms of extra money, no, no. I just don't agree with it. I've done it with Ultimate Team in the past, but very, very little, and like I say, I've become very savvy to it after a bit and thought, no, this isn't right. But things, it's becoming more prominent now, I believe, in games, and If people want to go out and spend money on extra items on a game they absolutely love, I'm not criticising that. That's great. Go ahead and do it. But when developers and publishers are knowingly making these games point towards you having to buy those items, that's where I've got a problem, and that's what worries me about Shadow of War. Is if the game is a real grind, like you said earlier on, Bob. If it's a grind and it's a real slog to get to, let's say, for example, level 10. Or I can spend £2.50 and get to level 25 instantly. That's what I've got a problem with. Is enticing more money, and then on top of that, they've got the season pass, which is going to be 25 quid. So what would have been a 45 quid game 5 or 6 years ago, now is potentially it's an unlimited amount, I suppose. But on average, it's a 100 quid game.
Myself and Russ have a friend who plays free-to-play game. It's Neverwinter, isn't it, Russ?
Neverwinter and Warframe, and he pumps hundreds into them.
He told me that he'd put about £400 to £500 into, I think it was Neverwinter, he said. Mind, that's the only game he played for like the longest period I've ever seen him play a game, as opposed to Destiny. And the worrying thing is that he was an all-round gamer. He loved all the new releases. He even liked checking out the indie titles and things like that. He started playing either Warframe or Neverwinter, whichever one came first, and he started ploughing money into them.
My worry where he couldn't afford to buy any of the new releases once he started doing that. So he got himself in a bit of an addiction.
Like addicting.
Yeah, bit of an addiction. So
yeah.
It is a strange thing, because some of those free-to-play games, I've only really played Warframe, and that is a grind. That is a real grind, that game. So you have to get anywhere in that, you have to pay to win, basically, in Warframe. So I stopped playing it once I realised that that's what you had to be like without, waiting days for items to craft or chuck some of these gems at it, whatever they were called, that you can only buy with real money to reduce the time to instantaneous crafting, which is ridiculous.
It's too much like a mobile game. Like, I used to love playing the games on my phone when I was out and about. I would just open my phone, do a few things, and it would say Farmville, I think it was, or something like that. It would say, right, this is going to take a week to build, and I would do all that stuff. That would take a couple hours, get on at night time, check it, give me little bits and bobs, done, put it down, and it kept us entertained throughout the day. But when I'm playing on a console, I don't want to be doing that, and that's why I didn't touch those games where it's like that, because a console, to me, I always think back to the SNES days, where and that's how I think it should be. But obviously, it's all changing. You get your game, that's your game done. Obviously, if they want to bring out DLC nowadays because of the internet and whatnot, that's fair enough. But
yeah,
I'm being a hypocrite because I do buy some extras. Like I've harped on about Rocket League. I buy the keys.
Yeah,
and
but
things
again,
like
the
that
Rocket League
so that
one is one of the, like I said,
it's a bit different.
It's just a visual thing. It's not you buying a skin for your car or a set of wheels isn't going to make. You know for a fact I've never spent a penny on Rocket League.
No, you haven't.
And I still play the game as well as, if not better, than you.
Just want to get this in here. His car looks absolutely wicked, and it's all because his nice friend over here done loads of trades.
Yeah, we did do some trading. See that
like
again, but that does open up that sort of stuff as well. We're talking about, you get your crates from Rocket League that you have to spend real money on to open, but there is a community out there for trading them. So I didn't want to open them. I didn't want to pay any money for them, but there was people out there willing to take them off my hands to give me a flashy skin for my car, and I give them 2 or 3 crates. So there's pros and cons to it, we could talk about it all day.
We could, and I firmly believe that this is this generation's online pass. Remember a few years ago, back in 2012, no, it was before that, probably 2010, 2011, when they brought out online passes where if you bought the game pre-owned, you couldn't play that game online.
Yeah.
You had to pay
extra.
Oh my God,
that was a nightmare.
Do you remember?
You know what I'm talking about when I say it was a nightmare, Dave.
yeah, it was, tell me about it. Well, I think this is that to counteract the pre-owned market. These guys don't get any money from pre-owned game sales. We know that. But this could be a way of them getting more cash. If somebody buys the game £8-9 cheaper pre-owned, psychologically they're thinking, I could put £8 or £9 worth of microtransactions through and I've essentially got more for my money, kind of thing. That's how they're looking at it, as money for those pre-owned games, as is the DLC. If someone goes and buys a game that's half the price pre-owned, it's going to entice them to buy that season pass, I suppose, or some extra DLC.
Yeah.
That way, the publisher / developer are still getting cash for it. So I think these microtransactions, they're not going to go away. I think they're just going to evolve. But having it in a single-player game is just ridiculous. Well done, Warner Brothers. You've done it again. Congratulations. Anyway. So yeah, there we go. Russ, plug into the websites and social media.
Yeah, so don't forget to check us out on the website, xboxgamerreviews.com. We have our reviews, news, previews and giveaways over there, so do go and check it out regularly as well. Twitter, you can keep up to date with us on there as well, Xbox_GR. Facebook.com/XboxGamerReviews. That's right, somebody's messing around on Google Docs here. Facebook.com/XboxGamerReviews is our Facebook page. YouTube is youtube.com/XboxGamerReviews.com. And you can also check us out. We have started streaming. We did mention this in previous podcasts. Streaming has started up again, and we are doing it on twitch.tv/Xbox_Gamer_Reviews.
Fantastic. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time. See you later.
Ta-da.